So we discussed what are the flavors of Unix. In Unix, we have so many flavors like Linux, Solaris, HP Unix, IBM Unix, Macintosh, AppleTalk, Digital Unix, Co Unix. When there are so many flavors, why we are using Linux? Why not other flavors of Unix? The reason is there's a company called Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems develop a software called Sun Solaris. Sun Solaris, their own hardware, that hardware we called as a Spark. Spark is a hardware, scalable processor architecture. Spark stands scalable processor architecture. Plus, they have their own software and they have their own hardware. Spark is the hardware only for Solaris compatible. A company called HP Hewlett Packard developed OS called HP Unix, their own hardware HP Service. IBM International Business Management developed OS called IBM AX, their own hardware that is called IBM Service. So these operating systems you cannot install on any other architecture, only their own hardware. As we discussed yesterday class, my Windows has a lot of disadvantages. It will take more time to load the operating system. That decreases my system booting performance. Windows has a virus, Windows has a downtime, but still there is no company without Microsoft. No company without Microsoft. No laptop, no desktop without Microsoft. Why Microsoft is leading the world? Why Microsoft leading the world? Anyone? One is because of user-friendly. Anyone can understand, anyone can operate. But Unix not user-friendly. There are nearly 6,500, more than 6,500 commands out there. A normal person cannot understand, cannot remember these many commands. That's why learning the Unix administration is a nightmare to the people because you have to remember a lot of commands. It was earlier days when there was no Linux. Linux also like Windows user-friendly. Another advantage of Windows is Windows operating system you can install on any hardware, any architecture. So Microsoft developed OS called Windows. There is no specific hardware required. Windows can be installed on any hardware, any architecture. So Windows operating system is hardware independent. Windows is hardware independent. Whereas Sun Solaris, HP Unix, IBM AX are hardware dependent. You cannot install any other hardware, only their own hardware. Whereas Windows hardware independent. The same like Linux also hardware independent. Linux was developed by Linus Torvalds. In the year 1992. We don't require any specific hardware to install Linux. Like Windows, Linux also can be installed on any hardware. Now, what is the difference between Windows and Linux? Yesterday class, we discussed the difference between Windows and Unix. Now, what is the difference between Windows and Linux? Windows needs a specific hardware. Windows is the licensed software. Windows is the licensed software. Unix or Linux is a freeware. No license required. Windows needs a specific hardware, but no specific hardware required for Linux. No specific hardware required for Linux. When I started my career as a Unix administrator, at that time, we used to use floppy drives. The floppy capacity is 1.44 MB. If at all you want to install Windows, at least we require minimum 1 GB RAM with 10 GB storage. 1 GB RAM with 10 GB storage. But for Linux, I can install 1.44 MB RAM. So we used to carry the floppies. We can copy the Linux kernel in a floppy. The capacity is 1.44 MB storage. That is called floppy. The floppy storage capacity is 1.44 MB and 1 MB RAM. 1.44 MB and 1 MB RAM. No specific hardware required for installation of Linux. No source code is available. Linux open source code. What is this open source code? We'll discuss later. There are the differences between Windows and Linux. In Linux, we have two types of software. One is freeware. The other one is Red Hat distribution software. Red Hat distribution software. The difference is the freeware versions are 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and the latest and current version is 8.0. The licensed software versions are 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Sorry, this is 18.2. The latest current version is 8.2. Why there's a difference? Because the freeware version released for every 6 months, whereas licensed software not for every 6 months, for every 2.5 years. For every 2.5 years. You can ask, when this software is available free of cost, why should I purchase licensed software? Why should I purchase licensed software? Generally, you people are using laptop with Windows operating system. So why you're purchasing laptop? What purpose? Why you're installing Windows? Why not Linux? Because Windows only for entertainment, playing the games, watching the movies, browsing the internet. Windows only for entertainment. Linux or Unix or Linux not for entertainment. It is only for database service, production service, application service, web service. So when I'm using Linux for database server, I need a support from Red Hat. I can also install database on freeware. But no support from Red Hat. Support only for licensed software. That's the reason in the real time, all the real servers are licensed software because they need a support. So why it is called Red Hat distribution software? In Linux, we have so many variants or distributions or flavors. Those are called Red Hat. CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE Linux, Debian Linux, Kali Linux, White Box Linux, Puppy Linux. Like there are so many distributions out there. All this comes under flavors of Linux. Linux comes under flavor of Unix. Unix flavors are different, Linux flavors are different. So you have a number, DURGASOFT team number. You please contact them for recorded videos. So now the guys who already paid, who already registered, chat your mail IDs in the chat box. I'm going to share the softwares. So that tomorrow we'll see the installation of Linux in a laptop or desktop.
Sir, we require all of these softwares.
I'm sorry?
So we require this virtual machine or install in virtual machine all of the operating system we need.
No, only one VM is enough. Install the Linux on one virtual machine. There is more than enough for practice. I'll share the software, Linux software and virtual machine software.
Yes.
So yesterday we discussed that the difference between Windows and Unix. Windows, everything is graphical user interface. Linux or Unix, command and interface. Linux or Unix is command and interface. So this is called CLI because it's a Unix. What flavor of Unix? How to know that? Uname -s. Uname -s to know the flavor of Unix. When you log into the Amazon cloud, AWS cloud, we also have another flavor, Amazon Linux. Amazon Linux is another flavor of Linux. Oracle Linux, Amazon Linux, there are so many flavors. It is showing that it's a Linux operating system, but I don't know what flavor of Linux it is. How to identify that? There's a command /etc/ reduce. What is saying? Sandwich. This command, it shows that what flavor of Linux. So while working as a cloud admin, we are going to work on sometimes on Red Hat Linux, sometimes on CentOS, sometimes on Amazon Linux, Ubuntu Linux. You need to understand what flavor of Linux it is. How do you come to know that? You have to execute this command. So all this comes under flavors of Linux. Where we use Red Hat. Red Hat, we use it for database servers, production servers. All database production servers are Red Hat. CentOS for development. All development servers are CentOS. Ubuntu for testing. All testing servers are Ubuntu. In Cognizant, there are nearly 5,000 laptops. We migrate all the 5,000 laptops, Windows to Ubuntu Linux. The reason is Windows is the virus. Ubuntu is a flavor of Unix, no virus. So we migrated nearly 5,000 laptops from Windows to Linux. The other advantage of Ubuntu Linux is more user-friendly comparing with other flavors of Linux. Ubuntu Linux is more user-friendly comparing with other flavors. It is same like Windows. You can work everything with graphical mode. No keyboard is required. You want to work on Windows family, we need a mouse. Without a mouse, we can't able to work. You want to work on Unix family, I need a keyboard. Without a keyboard, we can't able to work. But the advantage of Ubuntu, anything we can configure through mouse. It's same like Windows. So we are going to discuss Red Hat, we are going to discuss CentOS, we are going to discuss Ubuntu. So there is no company without Red Hat, without CentOS, without Ubuntu. So there are two types of codes available. One is called binary code. The other one we call source code. Binary code and source code. The difference between binary code and source code, binary code means zero and ones, machine language. You can't able to understand it. Source code is user understandable. Source code is user understandable. For example, you want to see the source code. So this is called source code. We're able to understand. But you people can't understand because HTML code. So who can understand? Only developers can understand. That is the difference between the binary code and source code. The advantage of Linux operating system is it is an open source code. Means what? This source code is available on internet. If you are technically sound, you know the shell programming, device driver programming, network programming, kernel programming. You can download this source code from internet, the free download it, and you can develop your own Linux operating system. You can redistribute it. All these are distributors. The difference between Windows, Solaris, HP Unix, IBM AX, all these are proprietary operating system. Who is a proprietor for Windows? Microsoft. Who is a proprietor for AX? IBM. Solaris, Sun Microsystems. All these are proprietary operating systems. They never give the source code to the end user. It's a binary format. For Linux, no proprietor. For Linux, no proprietor. Anyone can download the source code. Anyone can develop Linux. Anyone can redistribute. If anyone asks what is the Linux operating, what is the Linux, you have to tell that Linux is the open source code. That is the advantage of Linux. Any questions, guys? So what is the prerequisite for AWS? One is operational, the other one is networking. So today I'm going to show you, tomorrow we'll start networking. Today I'm going to show you how to create the account in AWS. If you create the account in AWS, no need to install Linux in your laptop or desktop. You can practice in AWS itself. Open the browser, type aws.amazon.com/free. You can create the free account for 12 months, 1 year. Most of the services are free services, but there are some paid services. We'll discuss later which are free services, which are paid services. So to open the account, log into this site. You need a debit card or credit card. You have to provide the debit card, credit card details. 2 rupees is going to debited from your account. 2 rupees debit from your account. Once this 2 rupees debit from the account means what? Your account is successfully created. Sometimes your account will activate within a 24 hours. Sometimes it will take 48 hours. So when the amount is debited, your account is successfully created. So log into this. To create a free account. Here we have option to create a free account. It is user friendly. So I already have account. So going forward, you people have to create minimum 2 accounts. Minimum 2 accounts, one for regular classes, the other one for hands-on practice. So after completion of the topic, I'll give the assessment, assignments. You have to do that. For that, we need a separate account for that. So if you are creating more than 1 account, you have to create the 2 mail IDs. For every account, you have to create a separate mail ID. So better create 2 accounts, one for your hands-on practice, the other one is for class. After creating the account, always log in as a root user. The default account is root with the password. So this is the dashboard. Here we have a services. So there are nearly 100 services out there, 103 services. From 103 services, we are going to discuss near about 40 services. What about the remaining services? Remaining services are for machine learning, and for DevOps. But the 40 services is more than enough. You can keep minimum 4 to 5 years experience. So this is called EC2 Elastic Cloud Computing. So these are the servers I created in AWS. I'll just briefly explain how to access the server in AWS. Last one across just. So these are the instances, nothing but a server, also called virtual machine. So launch instance. I just briefly explain how to create the server in AWS. So you see here, there are so many operating systems. Amazon Linux. Amazon also one of the distributors. Amazon Linux. Mac OS also one of the Unix operating system. Mac OS also one of the Unix flavor. Red Hat, Ubuntu Linux, SUSE Linux, they are all Windows operating systems. So we are going to discuss how to access Linux server, how to access Windows servers, the servers in AWS. So while creating an account, while creating instance, always take the free tier. This is the free tier. They won't charge for this. And these are called compute capacity. I'll explain later what is this compute capacity. You just review and launch. Proceed without a key. Launch instance. So within the seconds, we can launch the instance. Instance nothing but a server. So there
One
is
of the servers made.
Yeah, tell me.
Very fast than classical.
I didn't get you.
Old infrastructure and this new infrastructure better fast than old. This infrastructure.
Yes. So the instance is started, it's running. You just click here. You just say connect. Connect. Select connect. So we log into the Amazon Linux. You got a dollar prompt. Dollar prompt means you are a normal user. What the username? EC2-user. EC2-user is a normal user. But as admin, you're supposed to work as a root user. So you have to type sudo su-. You got the hash prompt. Hash means you are the root user, you are the super user. But this is not the procedure in the real time. We never connect to this instance directly from here. You have to log into the server through PuTTY. You have to log into the server instance to the PuTTY tool. all this stuff we'll discuss later. So what I mean to say, even if you don't have virtual machine or VMware software, or you don't have Linux operating system laptop, you can take the instance from the AWS cloud. You can practice here itself. It won't take more than 2-3 minutes to launch this server. Once you finish the work, you just terminate it. So who are registered, you just type your mail IDs here in the chat box. I'm going to share the software. So today is the last class for demos. Tomorrow onwards, the link going to be changed. Payment details, you get a mail. You see your check your mail. You can pay through Google Pay. This is a Google Pay number.
Sir, I paid already, but I got link from your side and video record lecture.
That's what today is the last class for demo. From tomorrow onwards, you'll be getting all the recording sessions because the link going to be changed from tomorrow.
Okay.
So this is the Google Pay number. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll be having theory and practical both. Every Saturday, we'll be having the practical session, assessments, assignments, and the real-time scenarios. You have to do that before coming to the class on Monday. That's why you have to create the 2 accounts, one for assignments, one for your practice. So all of you create the accounts in AWS, very user-friendly.
Sir, can you give demo how to create 2 account, different account?
First, you create the one account. I told you, no. I given the URL. You create the account. The same procedure. If you are creating another account, the same mail ID, it won't accept. One mail ID for only one account. First, create account with one mail ID. Later, after 1 week or 10 days, we are going to discuss about the practical. At that time, create another account.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Sir, how many services we are going to learn in this course? Sir?
How many? Sir, I
How
told
many?
you 40 services.
Yeah.
You are going to learn near about 40 services. It is more than enough to keep up to 4 to 5 years experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the training.
Yeah.
Basically, I'll give the training on. I'll give the training. I'll do the proxy. Proxy in the sense, I'm going to attend the interviews behalf of the students. And I'm going to give the support. Nowadays, almost all the jobs are work from home. So people are coming to my home and they're taking the support 1-2 months.
Sir, you provide a resume support.
Which one?
You can help us for resume support, resume making support.
Yes. Resume preparation, interview point of view questions. You want to crack interview yourself, I'll give all the questions, interview point of view questions. You can prepare it. If you seriously do the practicals, what are the topics we are discussing? If you do the practice seriously, definitely you can crack your interview. No proxy required.
Okay, sir.
Sir, how the AWS is beneficial for the testing side?
For testing side, you better go for AWS with DevOps. You already having experience on testing, better go with DevOps with AWS. Basically, AWS is nothing but a infrastructure. There are two types of data centers: physical data center, and cloud data center. I'm going to explain this tomorrow class. What is physical data center and what is cloud data center? Whatever the infrastructure we have in physical data center, the same infrastructure in cloud data center. So you want to work as a testing tool, quality analyst, quality controller. You want to work as a Linux administrator. You want to work as a programmer, developer. We need a service. These servers are in physical data center and cloud data center. So for testing engineer, we can work on physical data center, we can work on cloud data center. No difference. No difference. What is the difference? That we'll discuss tomorrow class. But as a testing engineer, if you have knowledge on DevOps, it is more advantage for you. Because AWS is the technology. In place of AWS, I can use Azure. I'm also giving the Azure training, Azure and JSP. In place of AWS, I can take Azure. I can go for Azure. In place of Azure, I can go for JSP. Technology can be changed. But every company has to follow the same methodology. So for better career, you already have work experience on testing. You better go with AWS with DevOps.
No, I don't have any experience, just I'm asking.
Okay. So because of this DevOps, no jobs for testing nowadays. Jobs are there, but very few jobs. Because all the testing people are migrating, moving to the DevOps. In future, there is no testing, only DevOps. So tomorrow we'll discuss about what is the physical data center, what is the cloud data center, what is the cloud environment, the architecture, and what are the types of clouds, what is private cloud, what is public cloud, what is hybrid cloud. All this stuff we'll discuss in tomorrow class. Tomorrow, no more demos. This is the link expert for today. Tomorrow, you'll receive the new link. That new link only for the paid students, not for the demos.
Sir, please share your contact number if possible.
Sure, but once we started the regular classes from tomorrow onwards, I'll share my contact number, mail IDs. I'll share the document, everything.
Okay, thank you.
So from tomorrow onwards, only the registered people will come to my classes. For those guys, I'll share everything. So as I told you that, rather than learning this networking, CCNA, database, Oracle database, storage, SAN, NAS, virtualization, Linux administration, rather than learning all these technologies. You just learn one technology, AWS. Tomorrow we'll discuss that why we have to learn AWS, why not the other technologies, what is the advantage of AWS, what is the feature of AWS. We will discuss in tomorrow class. We'll come to know that why you have to use AWS or why you have to use not only AWS, any cloud computing, either AWS or Azure, any cloud computing, what are the advantages, why the people are migrating from physical data center to cloud data center. All this stuff we'll discuss in tomorrow class, so that we'll come to know that why you're learning AWS. Any questions, guys?
Sir, duration for this course is
2 months.
Sir, recent video basic lectures are also sent by your team or not?
I didn't get it.
All previous lectures or previous classes?
In fact, this is my first class from
Yes.
DURGASOFT. Earlier, some of the faculty
No,
used
no,
to take the
no.
classes.
We are attending your lectures from 1st September.
Okay, those videos will be available from tomorrow onwards, because from tomorrow onwards we'll confirm the batch. How many
Yes.
people are registered? We confirm the
Yes.
batch. So we are going to share everything from you people tomorrow.
Okay, okay. No, you give all the basic details, so that recorded lecture also required.
Yes, everything is available.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Every day session is recorded, right? So this
Okay.
recording session will be available from tomorrow.
New
Sir,
link.
any graphical animation will be available? How it will whole system will be work? Because you learn and we listen, it's very good, but it's quite confusing how it, I think means you.
Okay, those will be available, not a problem.
Yes, sir.
Those animations will be available once we start the regular classes.
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, tell me what we do from one day.
What we do from one, what is that?
What day, what practice or how we study?
That's what. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow only theoretical part.
Yes, sir.
Maybe tomorrow we're going to start the basic commands.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing is I have to show the installation part.
Yes, sir.
Installation, everything is a practical.
Yes, sir.
I'll show you how to install this Linux. I told you, no, you have to share your, I gave my mail ID, right?
Yes, sir. I say I already sent.
So I'm going to share that all the software to you. Tomorrow we'll see the Linux installation part in a laptop.
Yes, sir.
Once it is done, from day after tomorrow onwards, everything is a practical. Theory
Yes.
and practical.
Yes.
So the advantage of learning this AWS course in DURGASOFT, I'm teaching the Linux administration almost 40 to 50% as a free of cost, which is very helpful for AWS.
Yes.
hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, what is the process for the certification of AWS?
I told you, I think yesterday class, they charge $150 for certification. You want to clear the certification by yourself, you have to spend at least 3 to 6 months on AWS. You require a lot of knowledge on that. It's very tough to get the certification. You have to spend minimum 6 months on that. Instead of that, if you pay 5,000 extra on top of your certification charges. In Hyderabad, people are going to write certification behalf of you if you pay 5,000 extra. Okay, guys. I hope you people are registered by today.
Yes, sir.
in the class from tomorrow. So
Thank
this link is not going to work from tomorrow. Please
Yes.
register and come join new link tomorrow, same time.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.